If you receive Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, stop what you are doing right now and watch this video until the very end, because what I am about to share with you could directly affect your payment this April. I am talking about benefits that could be paused, reduced, or even stopped completely. And millions of Americans have absolutely no idea this is happening. Do not let this be you. Stay with me. Let me ask you something. When that Social Security deposit hits your bank account each month, you count on it, right? For most of you watching, that money is not just a number. It pays for your groceries. It keeps your lights on. It covers your medication. So when the Social Security Administration starts making changes that can interrupt or cut off those payments, you deserve to know about it immediately. Right now, in April of this year, the SSA is actively implementing a series of policy changes and enforcement actions that are directly impacting how and when benefits get paid out. Some of these changes have been quietly rolling out, and the people who are getting hurt the most are the ones who were never properly warned. That is exactly why we are here today, and that is exactly why you need to share this video with every single person you care about who receives Social Security. So let me break this down in simple, plain language. No confusing government jargon, no fine print you need a lawyer to understand. Just the truth, clearly explained. The first thing you need to know is that the Social Security Administration has significantly stepped up its overpayment recovery efforts. This means that if SSA believes they paid you more money than you were entitled to, at any point in the past, they now have the authority to withhold 100% of your monthly benefit until that debt is repaid. That is right, 100%, not 10%, not 20%, all of it, gone, until they say the debt is settled. Now here is the part most people miss. You may not even know you were overpaid. This can happen because of a paperwork error on the SSA's end, a change in your income that you reported but was not processed properly, or even a change in your living situation that affected your eligibility. None of that matters to the computer system sending you the notice. All that matters to them is that the number does not match, and now they want it back fast. The second major change involves identity verification requirements. The SSA has been pushing hard for in-person verification at local field offices for certain types of beneficiaries. This is part of a broader push to clean up what they call improper payments. But here is the problem. Some offices have reduced hours, long wait times, and understaffed locations. If you are required to verify your identity and you miss a deadline or cannot get to an office, your payment can be placed on hold. And the third thing driving disruptions right now is the ongoing staffing and administrative restructuring happening inside the Social Security Administration itself. Budget pressures and staff reductions have created processing backlogs, delayed appeals reviews, and longer wait times when people try to resolve issues. For you, the beneficiary, that means if something goes wrong with your payment, it could take weeks or even months to get it corrected. This is where it gets serious, so pay close attention to this. If you receive retirement benefits through SSA, this affects you, especially if you have had any recent changes in income, moved to a new address, or recently updated your banking information. Any disruption in your file can trigger a review. If you receive SSI, supplemental security income, you are at even higher risk. SSI recipients are held to extremely strict income and resource limits. A small change, a family member moving in, a small gift of money, even a modest inheritance, can trigger an overpayment notice or a suspension of benefits. And with the new enforcement posture at SSA, these reviews are happening faster and with less warning than before. If you receive SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, you need to be on high alert for continuing disability reviews. These are periodic check-ins where SSA confirms you still meet the criteria for disability benefits. If you miss a review deadline or do not respond to a request for information, your benefits can stop immediately while they investigate. Public sector employees and those receiving pension income also need to pay close attention. There are rules, specifically the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset, that reduce Social Security benefits for people who receive pensions from jobs that did not pay into Social Security. If your pension amount recently changed or if you retired from a public sector job, your benefit calculation may have been affected in a way you are not aware of. Spouses and survivors, this is for you too. If you are receiving benefits based on a spouse's record, any change to their benefit, including their death, a correction to their earnings record, or a finding of overpayment, can ripple directly into your check. You are not immune just because the issue started with someone else's account. Let me tell you about a situation that is playing out all across the country right now, and see if any of this sounds familiar. Think about a woman. Let us call her Diane. Diane is 71 years old, living in Ohio, receiving about $1,340 a month in Social Security retirement benefits. Back in 2021, her daughter moved in with her temporarily and contributed a small amount toward the household bills. Diane reported this to SSA because she was also receiving SSI at the time, but somewhere in the process, SSA recorded the contribution as unearned income on Diane's account. Fast forward to this April. Diane opens her bank app and her deposit is zero, not reduced. Zero. She received a letter 2 weeks earlier that she thought was routine mail, so she set it aside. That letter was an overpayment notice for $4,200. And SSA had already begun full withholding. Diane is now trying to navigate an appeal process while borrowing money from her son to pay her rent. Now think about a man named Harold. Harold is 67 and receives SSDI for a serious back condition. He works part-time doing very light bookkeeping within what SSA calls substantial gainful activity limits. But his hours slightly increased for 2 months last year, and his employer reported higher wages to the IRS. SSA flagged this, initiated a review, and sent Harold a letter asking him to verify his work activity. Harold did not fully understand what was being asked. He responded, but not with all the documentation they needed. His SSDI payments were suspended for 6 weeks while SSA processed his case. 6 weeks with no income. Harold had to dip into his entire emergency fund, and he still has not fully recovered. These are not rare edge cases. These are the kinds of things happening to real people right now. And in both situations, the outcome could have been different if the person had known what to look for and what to do. Now, here's the part that I need you to really hear, because this is where ignoring this information can cause serious lasting damage to your financial life. If you receive an overpayment notice from SSA and you do nothing, the full withholding will begin automatically. You will not get a phone call. There will be no second warning. The money simply will not be there. And once SSA begins collection, getting those funds restored, even if you are right and they are wrong, takes time. It takes paperwork. It takes persistence. It can take months. If you miss a request for identity verification or a continuing disability review, your benefits can be suspended while SSA investigates. Suspended does not mean canceled permanently, but it might as well be if you have bills due now and rent coming up next week. And here is something that breaks my heart. Many seniors simply do not appeal. They receive a confusing letter. They feel overwhelmed. They assume the government must be right. And so they just go without. They cut back on food, they skip prescriptions, they call family members asking to borrow money they know they may never be able to pay back, all because of an error that was completely fixable if only they had known their rights and taken action in time. Do not let that be your story. Pay close attention to this because I am going to give you a clear action plan you can start on today. The first thing you need to do is check your mail, carefully. Every single day. SSA sends official notices by mail, and they are not always marked in an obvious way. Do not set any SSA envelope aside. Open it immediately. Read every word. If you receive any kind of notice about an overpayment, a review, a request for information, or a benefit change, the clock is already ticking. You typically have 60 days to appeal a decision, and that window starts from the date on the letter, not the date you read it. The second thing you need to do is log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. If you do not have one, create one today. This is where you can see your benefit status, your payment history, any notices SSA has issued, and your earnings record. If something looks wrong, an address you do not recognize, a payment amount that changed, a note about a review, contact SSA immediately. Third, if you receive an overpayment notice, do not panic, but do act fast. You have the right to request a waiver, especially if the overpayment was not your fault and repaying it would cause financial hardship. You also have the right to appeal the decision entirely if you believe SSA made an error. You can do both at the same time. Call SSA at 1-800-772-2113 or visit your local field office with all your documentation. Fourth, if you are an SSI recipient, take a close look at your living situation and any income you may have received in the past 12 months, even informal help from family. If anything has changed that you have not reported, report it now voluntarily. Proactive reporting almost always results in a better outcome than waiting for SSA to discover it on their own. Fifth, if you have a disability review coming up, or if you have not heard from SSA in a while and you receive SSDI, call and confirm your status. Do not assume that no news is good news. In the current environment, it is entirely possible that a letter was sent to an old address or that a review was initiated that you are not aware of. And sixth, and this is important, consider speaking with a Social Security advocate, a benefits counselor, or an elder law attorney if you are facing an overpayment, suspension, or denial. Many of these professionals offer free or low-cost consultations, and having someone in your corner who knows the rules can make an enormous difference in the outcome. I want to close by saying this directly to you. You worked for these benefits. You paid into this system your entire career. You earned every single dollar of what SSA sends you each month, and you have every right to protect it, fight for it, and make sure it keeps coming without interruption. The system is complicated. I know that. The letters are confusing. The phone lines are long. The field offices are busy. I understand how exhausting it feels to deal with any of this, especially when all you want is to live your retirement with peace and dignity. But the information in this video is your armor. It is what stands between you and a phone call to your children, asking for money you should never have needed to ask for. You are not alone in this. There are millions of people watching videos like this one, trying to stay informed, trying to stay ahead of changes that could hurt them, and every single one of them, just like you, deserves to know the truth and to have someone explain it clearly and with respect. If this video gave you information that you needed, please hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second and it helps more people find this content when they need it most. And if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe so you never miss an update like this one. We cover Social Security, Medicare, retirement benefits, and government changes that affect seniors every single week. Most importantly, please share this video. Share it with your spouse, your siblings, your neighbors, your friends at church, or at the senior center, because somewhere out there, there is a person who is about to open a letter that is going to upend their month. And this video could be the thing that helps them handle it. Be that person for someone you love. Share this right now, and I will see you in the next one.